One of our followers asked us an excellent question. It deserves an answer, and it will tie into the TikTok that I'm going to make after this one. In our podcast and the situation reports, we've used three terms: retreat, fighting retreat, or fighting withdrawal sometimes, and retrograde operation. Aren't they all the same? No, they're very different, and they do mean different things. Please keep in mind, I have 3 minutes to explain the differences. This isn't a TED Talk or a class at West Point. It's a very condensed and somewhat simplified explanation. Retreat. This is an easy one. You're either the attacker or the defender, and everything has gone wrong. You are overrun, or your attack has completely collapsed, and you are getting overrun. You do not have a first or second or third echelon to fall back to. You are literally running for your life. That's what a retreat is. That is in combat where the highest casualty percentages typically happen. An example of this would be the Kharkiv counteroffensive that Ukraine launched. They quickly overran Russia's first, second, and third echelons, created complete chaos. They captured over 2.5 brigades worth of equipment, 500 prisoners. Russia suffered thousands of casualties. A fighting retreat or a fighting withdrawal is just what it sounds like. What that means is your positions are becoming overrun. You could be defense or offense in that scenario. Your first echelon, your forward line of friendly troops is collapsing, and you have to fall back to your second echelon. But you're doing it in an organized way, and you're fighting every step of the way that you fall back. The fighting in Marinka, south of Donetsk, is a great example of continuous fighting withdrawal that is going on both sides. That brings us to retrograde operation, which is different from a fighting retreat or retreat, sometimes called a strategic withdrawal. A retrograde operation is a very specific and detailed military plan, and that plan is to intentionally fall back. But there are multiple defensive lines that are pre-prepared, so that the falling back is in a very organized fashion. Typically, you're not going to be abandoning a lot of ammunition, you're not going to be leaving military hardware behind, and you're going to be suffering a lot less casualties because it's planned. Part of a retrograde operation sometimes can be to channel your enemy into certain areas to maximize the casualties on them, even though you're in withdrawal. And we have 2 examples of retrograde operations, one from Ukraine, one from Russia. Russia ran a masterful retrograde operation out of Kherson in November. And Ukraine has been running a masterful retrograde operation out of Bakhmut since January.